Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Munadiwa, and this is Caso Chaps, where we talk all things from home to interior design and everything in between. In this video, I am going to give a full breakdown of warm minimalism, which is an interior design style that is definitely on the rise. When I'm on Instagram, I am constantly being bombarded with beautiful pictures of this style, and I thought it makes sense to share with you guys the information and tools that you need in order to correctly and perfectly achieve this style within your spaces. By the end of this video, you will learn 1. The background of warm minimalism, 2. The elements of warm minimalism, and finally, how you can realistically implement it in your home. Now let's start with the background of warm minimalism. To know a little bit better about warm minimalism, we must first understand more about minimalism. Minimalism is a movement which started post-World War II, and it was deeply rooted in an art movement when some artists started consciously renouncing the prevailing art style of those days. They thought the art style had become too stale, too academic, and they questioned some conventional boundaries. That is when a wave of new influences and redefined styles started emerging. It later on expanded into design, architectural aesthetic, and even music producing. Minimalism in interiors is constituted with simple lines and silhouettes that have sharp edges, which are often accentuated with glass, steel, and metal. There is a use of cool neutral colors, especially black and white, to give a clean aesthetic without any clutter, which is usually leading to connected and open plan concepts and even a futuristic approach in some cases. Minimalism also has an emphasis on structure and functionality rather than on beauty and decor. So let us sum it all up. Minimalism is all about simplicity, neutral color palettes, and clean lines. However, not everyone finds minimalism swoon-worthy. In fact, some find it rather sterile, void, and even cold. Some even go further to call it soulless. And this is where warm minimalism enters. Warm minimalism is an injection of color and warmth into minimalism. Being a good mix of wabi-sabi, Scandinavian minimalism, and even Mediterranean style, warm minimalism is, simply put, organic minimalism. It really strives to create a sense of peace and serenity, but which is also warm and inviting. Warm minimalism is the addition of some elements of minimalism, but with a strong emphasis on comfort, coziness, and giving the space an overall feeling of hominess. Warm minimalism achieves this by adding warmth and interest using natural textures and elements. And if you want to know about how to make your home look and feel cozy, then you might want to get back to this video that breaks down some simple steps to achieve that. Now, there are 3 guiding principles that I would like to share with you on how you can achieve warm minimalism. Let's go. 1. Less is always more. If you truly want to embrace the minimalist design look and feel, you have to know that it is not about how much or how good things that you own, but rather about achieving better design and aesthetic through simplicity. The first step I want you to do is to make a list of all the furniture that you already have at your home, room by room. The aim here is for you to sit down, take time, think and reflect on what you have, and not just run off to the store to buy new furniture. The most durable and high quality items that you own are going to set the base for your minimalist interiors. Again, the principle is to use what you already have, but choosing quality over quantity. Step number 2, decluttering and organization. Now, I want you to look around your space. What do you see? Are there places where they're a bit too much of paper or car keys, shoes, or even random stuff that are hanging around, which perhaps started in your handbag and somehow ended on the kitchen counter? Then we have some work to do. Decluttering and organizing your space so that it stays neat is an important part to minimalism. Now, let us refer back to that list that you made earlier. I want you to ask yourself the following questions. 1. Which do you love? 2. Which do you need? And 3. Which provide practical and value to you and your family? The goal is to narrow down this list so that you see what is in the sweet spot, the intersection. Now, if you can get rid of the rest of the things, way to go. But if you can't, that's also okay. The key here is to think of some clever storage solutions like hidden drawers under your bed or baskets under benches, or some multifunctional furniture, for example, an ottoman, which can also serve the purpose as a coffee table, but can also provide seating and at the same time being used as storage. 3. So we now have narrowed down our list of things that are most valuable to us. Now is the time to set the foundation. To make sure that you have really narrowed down this list, I want you to ask yourself this question. If my house was on fire, which item would I grab first? Now, let us get to the fun part, finally. I am going to break down to you some elements and facts which you might need to keep in mind. 1. Let the sunshine in. Minimalism has a strong emphasis on airiness, which can be achieved by making use of natural light. You don't want to have heavy drapery that can be blocking or even filtering the incoming light. The best case scenario would be to have no curtains at all. But if this is not possible, then at least use sheer white curtains, perhaps paired with blinds, which you can open and close when you need. Choose a neutral color palette. For a classic minimalist interior, your base colors should be subdued hues to create a feeling of calm and that looks fresh. Natural tones should be incorporated, for example, brownish tones, through a jute fiber rug or a wooden coffee table and a rattan chair. Some tips to keep in mind are yellow undertones always give a white paint a warmer and creamier appearance, while blue undertones always give it a cooler look. So if your space has a lot of natural light, it will likely look warmer. So to balance that out, you can use a cooler shade of white. But on the other hand, if you don't have enough natural lighting and you rely on a lot of LEDs or fluorescent lighting, this tends to make the room look cool, so you want to go warmer with your paint color. 3. To really hone in that minimalist look, you want to incorporate some natural elements such as rattan, wicker, wood, jute, leather, linen, concrete, bamboo, cork. I could go on, but you get the point. 4. Big leafy plants are always a great addition to a minimalist space. Some good examples are birds of paradise or the Chinese bamboo plant, but there's so many other options if you do your research right. E, when incorporating metals, you really want to avoid the use of steel, silver, nickel, or chrome because these colors of metals are cool, but rather you want to introduce the warm metals like gold, copper, and brass. 6, lighting. Okay, I know this is my gospel on this channel, but please allow a girl to preach. Honestly, a room can never be fully furnished with just one source of lighting. Lighting must always be layered in any space to increase the ease of function in the space and also to make it look and feel cozy. So for warm minimalism, you can add a beautiful standing lamp and remember to get the correct bulb too. Getting the right temperature and brightness for your light bulb right is important because it doesn't necessarily cost you any extra money. What you want to do is to get the lumens, which is how bright a lamp is, as well as the kelvins, which is the temperature of the bulb right. A 800 lumen bulb might be great for a small corner of the living room, but I like something softer, like a 400 lumen bulb, especially in the bedroom. Alternatively, a 200 lumen bulb can be great for an exposed bulb. Remember that if you have an exposed bulb, less lumens are always best. If you have probably noticed some light bulbs look a lot warmer or even orange. For example, think of the Edison bulb. But some bulbs also look so blue and cool. That's what we call Kelvin. In a nutshell, you have power over that, and the color of the bulb can affect everything to you, the mood of the entire space, and even how a paint color looks. My go-to temperature in kelvins is 3000, and for lamps, I usually prefer 2700. This range is best if you really want to achieve a good soft white, which is pleasing, refreshing, inviting, warm, and cozy, and gives all the good feels. Lastly, remember to keep things personal. There's no need to make an exact copy of somebody else's space because ultimately you want your space to support you and your needs and to reflect who you are. You want to feel comfortable and invited, and more so, you want your home to really cater for you. So I don't want to push you into a certain form, but rather I want to give you these principles so that you can apply them to your lifestyle and really make warm minimalism your own. I really want you to take these principles and use them to define what warm minimalism means to you. Now, to round up this video, we discussed that warm minimalism is an organic take on minimalism. It is achieved by adding natural textures and tones to make the space feel inviting and cozy. It is still deeply rooted in the principle of less is more, so you can definitely achieve it by doing the following 3 things. 1, decluttering and organizing. 2, using clever storage solutions that keep everything streamlined. And lastly, add natural fibers like jute, wood, and rattan, as well as a great lighting scheme. I'll catch you in my next video.